Our guests today are Wing Commander Musa Salmanu, retired, is a security and development expert, a retired Nigerian Air Force officer, and a former expert on missions with the United Nations missions to the Democratic Republic of Congo. He'll be joining us via Zoom. Welcome to Lens on Africa, sir.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, sir. We'll also be having Dr. Joshua Habila, PhD, is a Deputy Inspector General of Police, retired. He is currently the Chief Consultant at Josh Tech Security and Safety Consults Limited. Welcome to Lens on Africa, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right, without wasting any time, let's go straight to our questions for the evening. I'm going to start from you, sir, DIG. Can you give us your perspective on what small arms and light weapons actually mean?
Light small arms and
Light weapons.
and light weapons
Yes,
are
sir.
weapons that people can carry,
Okay.
and people get them without permission.
Without permission?
Yes,
Ah.
these are arms that have gone into hands of a lot of people
Okay.
who use it to trade and sell and make some ends meet, or sell them to criminals
Okay.
who use them against the community and the society.
All right.
And so there are a lot of it out there. There are arms that are very, very volatile because
Okay.
they harm the individual and the community. Yes.
All right. Okay. Wing Commander, sir, would you like to share your thoughts on this? Small arms and light weapons.
Well, thank you so much. And this is network permitting. But and I want to say I'm privileged to be with my very senior colleague in this profession. So, like he said, small arms and light weapons are those weapons that are operated, when you say small arms, then by one personal weapon. This could be from the personal rifle to revolvers and perhaps stock machine guns and so on that can be operated by one person. Now, in terms of light weapons, they are usually those that are operated by a group, maybe a crew of 2-3 people that that operate that, and they move from light mortar to other slightly higher caliber of weapons.
Okay.
That are there. Like my colleague has said, these weapons could either be those that are legal, actually. They are the ones that are legally in the possession of security agencies, and those that are illegal, and those are the issues that we are concerned with, I'm sure here. Those that are in illegal possessions of people that are not supposed to be in possession of those weapons.
Okay, sir. Now, let's talk about what is responsible for the proliferation of these small arms and light weapons by non-state actors. Like he has mentioned, those are not supposed to be in possession of them. How and why is it so common amongst them?
Yeah, it's common because these individuals that have taken into getting these things, well, most of it is for particularly to perpetrate crime.
Right.
Some of them also believe that if they have them, they will be able to, trample on the laws and regulation of a country into another country.
Okay.
And so they get that so that they can put up a resistance and begin to deal with whoever wants to stop them from coming into a country, one of these African countries,
Yes.
illegally.
Okay.
And of course, because of insecurity and a lot of idle hands in these ECOWAS communities,
Yes.
a lot of people have taken into criminality. And to be able to do anything criminally, you need to have the arms. Right. And that's why some countries do not have strong ability to checkmate that. And so once they produce, they move them into other countries that have the capacity to buy. And so you see a lot of arms coming into most of these African countries because in ECOWAS, Nigeria particularly wants to be the big brother. And so they let people come in, and sometimes this has caused us a lot of problems. Yes.
Okay. DIG, sir, I would like to find out, we know that African countries share borders generally. I mean, Nigeria has a border with Niger, with Chad, etc. And these borders mostly are porous. Could that also be some of the reasons why we have a widespread of these small arms and light weapons?
Exactly.
Okay.
The border into Nigeria, in all aspects, from whatever angle you see it, you're likely to see a situation where the security operatives, even including other stakeholders in Nigeria, have attempted severally to prevent people from trading in arms and ammunition and whatever, and other goods. It's been impossible because the border is so porous, and it sometimes becomes very difficult for you to define the beginning of Nigerian border with all these countries. And there's also this issue of the fact that there are no roads. There are track roads, and it becomes very difficult for security agencies to block completely to prevent anybody from coming. And more so that where the government is saying we should be able to cross-fertilize ideas, we should also be able to know ourselves, and then be keeper of ourselves in ECOWAS. And so that has made it very, very porous. And so for Nigeria, the borders are very, very porous, and people go in and come out with this.
All right. In some quarters of society, there's been will I say a small number who are requesting that small arms be legalized so people can at least prefer some kind of security solutions to themselves. What are your thoughts on that quickly?
No, I wouldn't. For all of us, we should be able to know that when you arm any of your citizens, and then even if you train them on how to use them, they are likely to turn them up against the citizen. There are a lot of issues, there are a lot of challenges. The economy also is a little bit tough, and so people would abuse the opportunity. I don't think we can recommend people bearing arms for the sake of it. It's going to be very, very dangerous for us.
All right, all right. Commander, sir, I would like to have your take on a call by some section of not just Nigerians but Africans in generally as a result of the security situation, requesting that small arms be legalized for personal protection. What's your take on that quickly?
So it's a two-way, if I call it a two-way traffic, because there's an argument that bad people do kind of break the habit of they do because they go unchallenged. If people come 5, 6, they can terrorize a whole community and nobody can respond to them in like mind. So the argument is that had it been people were armed and they are able to respond, it will serve as a deterrent to those would-be attackers. Now that, and so with that argument, as plausible as it looks, that takes us to the fact or the need for there to be the issue of curbing the proliferation of these small arms. Now this is where the responsibility of government and security agencies come in to ensure that people that have no business getting arms do not get them. Now, when there is breakdown of that or the inability to provide that social safety, then you get calls like this, because if the response is slow and if people feel unprotected or they feel they are not able to depend on those that should ordinarily protect them, then there's this call. So in this, you can see that there is actually a plausible reason why people ask for that. Now, for us to kind of say the society, yes, there is the fear that this proliferation, like, for example, how many arms are enough in a community or in a society? Now, how are we sure that people will not turn these arms and get them to the wrong hands, and instead of communal protection, use it for individual perpetration of crimes? Now, whereas we cannot close our eyes and say, and ignore the fact or the reason why people call this, we can come up with a community means of managing or keeping these arms safe.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what am I proposing? That and it's not just it's not me kind of. So let me not say that I'm the one. But then a lot of people are saying that why not let's have community armories?
Okay.
They could be in police stations. They could be in safe places. So the communities that are trained in, say, communal vigilantes and so on, could have means of response in the present predicament that we find ourselves.
DIG, sir, I would like to ask about what can be done at government level to at least nip this in the bud or put a stop to it completely.
One of the basic things that the government should do, in the ECOWAS,
yes,
they should be able to clearly define boundaries between a country and another.
Okay.
And in doing that also, they should be able to put in some equipment that will prevent people from coming in without being searched, or coming in without being searched, or people who would want to come in must state exactly where they are coming from and who they are. In doing that, it's going to reduce drastically this illegal movement. And then we need to also try to secure our borders, that unless we want people to come in, they can come in. And as they are coming in, we should be able to find out who they are and what they hold. As it is today, there are a lot of porous points within the boundary of our countries with others. And then it becomes very difficult for security agencies to keep that off and to ensure that for every person coming in, they would be able to know.
I see.
There are times you can't even define, the mark of your boundary. And so the government should make sure that whoever that is coming in, there could be a point where such person must pass through a small window, and it can be done.
It can be done.
And most of the border cities in Nigeria lack a lot of facilities, and so they think they're on their own. They think the government is not looking after them. There are no amenities, and what they do is to encourage the other countries, the other people, citizens from another country to be coming in, because they will set up what exactly they will get from those people. And so instead of them depending on the government, they use that as an opportunity, because social amenities in the borders, particularly of Nigeria, they lack a lot of facilities.
I see.
And unless we improve that, then the citizen will see that they are part of the country, and then their rights, the civil responsibility, they will strengthen, and they will be the people to pick those who are coming in either with arms or with other items that have not been cleared.
All right.
Yes.
Now, that is talking about these small arms coming into the countries.
Yes.
What about the ones that are already in? Is there a way to monitor? Is there a way to track and to be able to curtail the use of these arms, in the country or on the continent?
Yes, a lot, and those ones that have been brought already,
yes,
there's a possibility.
Okay.
And if Nigeria love this country and want to make sure that this country is safe, then the civil responsibility of all of us is incumbent on us, that when you see something, you say something. And therefore, we have a lot of security agencies around. They may not be too far.
Okay.
And they have the opportunity to go, whatever they see, to report. When they report, the security agencies will definitely go pick those items that, that have been seen. But because we create a situation where, after all, social amenities have not gone round, I haven't been employed, and some of the challenges of the country, inability to make ends meet, sometimes they just look the other way. So we must be very, 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 very loyal to the country. We must ensure that as a citizen, it's our responsibility to keep our country and our location safe.
All right. Now, from what you have said, this just shows that the responsibility is not completely on government. Citizens also have a role to play.
Yes.
All right, now, so talking about this, let's talk about Nigeria in particular. Would you say we're making progress in the fight against small arms and light weapons, curtailing the use of it, curtailing the proliferation of it? Would you say that we're making progress?
No, we're not making progress. I'm thinking that with some challenges of life and the inability to make ends meet, and a lot of the things that some were doing, they no longer have opportunity to do them.
All right.
In other words, some of the vocation and a lot of places where people go to try to earn a living, some of these things are they're no longer available.
I see.
And in that case, a lot of them would want to take to crime. And so the commitment of Nigerians to be proud of the country and speak for the country and ensure that what the country wants to do in terms of the leadership, they contribute. They're not contributing. Rather, they are learning how to get this thing in, how to sell them. They do not care what they use them for. And so there are a lot of inability of the people to look at the country as theirs and to be able to help the security agencies in blowing whistle for some of these things to be taken off.
Okay.
Yes.
Commander Salmano, we're still talking small arms and light weapons, but beyond security measures, what other broader socio-economic and political factors do you think we need to address as a continent to tackle the root cause of conflicts that are fueling the need for small arms? So small arms is the problem, right? But what other factors, socio-economic issues, political issues, do you think we need to tackle at the root that are causing the conflicts that cause the need for the small arms? What are your thoughts?
I think my thoughts is based on the issue of the social contract. What is that the relationship between government and its citizens?
Okay.
How do we define governance, and how do we ensure that people at the grassroots or the basic or the ordinary citizen has the basic facilities or the basic structures or means of livelihood? The more people have the means of livelihood and they can fend for themselves, the less likely they are to resort to violence or to conflict. And so if we look at the issues of governance, if we improve governance, we improve access to means of livelihood, if we ensure that there is good governance and adequate and proper representation of people, and people have a voice in how they are governed, it reduces the tension between communities and within those communities. Then there's the issue of also that's awareness that brings about social cohesion between people and various communities.
Yeah.
When that is improved, and that has a direct proportion to how people feel, how they feel in terms of their economic well-being, in terms of their political participation, and in terms of their feeling as citizens of that country. Now, if there is this inclusion and there is awareness, and that is where the retired AIG was talking about the issue of ensure it's an all of country approach. So government is doing its own side, civil society is doing its own part, and with collaboration with communities, and individuals take personal responsibility to do what is right. So when we have all that, I must also point out that security agencies have a very big role to play.
Okay.
Within security agencies that have the legal right to bear arms, there are the bad acts that get these arms illegally to those that use them to perpetrate bad things. So security agencies must purge themselves of those individuals that allow others that are not supposed to have access to have this access.
All right.
And in terms of also borders, for example, porosity of borders is one thing, but there is also the issue of the corruption that is endemic within those borders, even where they exist. So and it also goes to the fact that patriotism and the side of security agencies that are charged with that, but in charge of people that are also in those border communities to know that inadvertently this comes back to haunt those individuals that think that it doesn't affect them.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Because this is an African issue, essentially.
Yes, it is.
Is there something you feel that is crucial, by African countries to foster that collaboration towards having a focused approach to solving this issue of small arms and light weapons?
Yeah, there is. One of the basic things that is generally affecting the African countries are lack of amenities, social amenities in all of this country, and so everybody, take to what we call self-help until we're able to ensure that the basic requirements in each of this country can reach the common man. If that is not done, every one of them would want to do what we call self-help, and that's why they sit and insinuate and look at what can make them, live well and all of this. And that's why they even go to encourage in the other country that, look, my country needs a lot of this.
Yes.
And they will just bring them in and try to take them, smuggle them out. And so government should look at, they should do more to ensure that the basic requirements of the people, they have them.
They have them.
And I think that this government has been centering on the community, on the citizen.
Okay.
And I think that if this is improved, and this is really, really established and is done well, it's really going to let people know that, yes, the basic amenities are available.
All right,
and so,
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I've been discussing today with Wing Commander Musa Salmonu, retired, and also I have been talking with Dr. Joshak Habila, PhD, and we've been talking about the proliferation of small arms and light weapons.